you look at someone like De Bruyne, won it all at Manchester City. Bruno Fernandes, he's that good, deserves to leave the Premier League, winning the Premier League, and also Champions League. For me, he's that good, Ali. Welcome to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie O'Hara, and Jermaine Pennant is alongside me. Cundy has bottled it. He is coming on, though. We're getting him on in visual because that shambles from Chelsea tonight. PSG had no respect for them, that's for sure. Huge night in the Champions League. We see Manchester City, they go out, had a man sent off. They lose 2-1 in the end. So another English team is gone out of the Champions League. But Arsenal, they go through. They are looking good. They're playing well. Can they go all the way? 03 717 22 33 44. Racinia is Chelsea fans. I'm not sure you're having this guy. All this is a huge story surrounding this year's AFCON as well. It's just broke. Morocco are now the champions. We're going to bring you right up to date on that as well. But get involved in the show. Let's have a go at Chelsea. Absolute shambles from them. 03 717 22 33 44. All right, Shabba.
Hello, matey.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, you all good?
I'm very good. Just a little bit jet lagged.
Yeah, you've been in the Maldives, living a dream.
Yeah, got back last night.
Yeah, you've jumped in for Cundy because obviously Cundy has been doing the Chelsea game.
Yeah,
conceded 8 goals. Didn't respect
whooping.
Did not respect the ball. Whooping.
Didn't respect nothing. No, that's
whooping.
In this stage of the competition, to lose 8-2 on aggregate is not a good look.
Not a good look.
It is poor.
Absolute charlatans.
Yeah, it is shambles.
8-2.
In this stage of the competition, you
can't be getting pumped 8-2 by PSG.
You can lose, but 8-2 on aggregate is bad.
3-0 at home. I mean, fair. Look, PSG are a good side, but they've had their struggles this season. I don't know what's going on there all of a sudden. Liam Racinia, I'm not sure these Chelsea fans are going to have too much of this with him. I don't think they're going to hand it. I don't think they'll have it.
No, absolutely not. If you keep putting in performances like that. Well, they lost to Newcastle at the weekend as well. So they're on a little bad run of form. Very inconsistent. But yeah, walking away from the Champions League, knowing that you conceded 8 goals over 2 legs, no. Man,
they're all over the gaff at the back. I mean, seriously. I'm the first goal.
This could be their last Champions League football. There's no guarantee that they're going to get it next season.
No.
There's no guarantee they're going to finish 5th or 4th.
No.
That could be... Just think about it. Your last Champions League game, spanked 8-2. It's not a good way to get out of there, is it?
No, it's not a good way to go. It's been a tough night. Cundy is going to come on. We're going to get him on the camera as well because I want to see his face after his shambles of a night from them. But look, other things as well. We've got to talk about, obviously, Arsenal flying high, Jammer. They could actually potentially win it all. They've got...
Do you know what? I won't put in favourites.
No?
No, because Real Madrid are just Champions League monsters. They just know this competition. They know how to get it done. They can not be at their best, but will somehow manage to win. PSG, again, you know, when they won it, they finished 24th or 22nd in the league phase, but went on to go and win it. Arsenal actually beat them at home 2-0, quite comfortable. And all of a sudden, they just rocked up and said, no, we're coming to town now.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're being off the boy, off the song at present. And all of a sudden, they put 8 past Chelsea. So for me, and I'm thrown Bayern Munich as well. When it gets to the latter stages of the tournament, the elite teams show why they're elite. They show why they're 6-time, 16th time, 1-time Champions League winners, because they got the knack. And for me, I'd put those at the moment just slightly ahead of Arsenal.
The thing is that 5 finished in the top 8 of the English sides. 2 have gone out tonight. Spurs will probably go out tomorrow. Liverpool got
the 2 that have gone out.
Look,
the 2 that have gone out have lost 13-3 on aggregate.
It just shows that, we give it the big one about, the English clubs and the Premier League being the best league in the world and all that. But when it comes to the elite stages of the Champions League, at the moment, it only looks like there is only one elite team, and that is Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Look, Newcastle will probably go out at the new camp to Barca because they're unbeaten at home. They're just ruthless when it comes to there. Liverpool and Galatasaray, I don't know. They could win, they could lose. We literally just do not know. Arsenal, look like they've got the favourable side of the draw, and if they do go through, obviously they're going to have to probably end up beating Barcelona in the semis.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's go. We'll see. But let's go to Dan. He's a Chelsea fan. All right, Dan?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, mate. I don't know what to say. Here goes the violins. But Jermaine Pennant, mate, I don't know what you're saying about this could be Chelsea's last chance, for years in the Champions League.
I didn't say years, did I? So the last chance is going to be for next season. They might not be in next season.
Yeah, well, not really, because we're only 3 points behind doing that, achieving that, so it ain't over yet.
I'm not saying it's over.
But you ain't been great, have you, Dan? Let's be honest. You've been terrible recently. It's taken an ugly turn, this.
Listen, this is what's heartbreaking, and you can play the violins, but it's the manager. Why? I can't believe we got rid of Maresca and signed Liam Rossignol. We done it with Tuchel. He won us the Champions League, and we sacked him 2 months later.
Good manager, Rossignol, mate.
6-year contract.
Got to give him time, mate. I've seen encouraging signs.
I don't understand it, mate. I really don't.
Just the process.
It makes sense. He ain't got a clue. He's never managed a Premiership team. He wasn't even a good Premiership player, to be honest with you.
It's a bit harsh.
No, I strongly believe that. And, seeing him as Chelsea manager now, it's over. You're right. It's over. We'll be back in the Conference League if we're lucky.
Hold on, you changed your tune. Literally a minute ago, you said it's not over, and you said you've still got a chance. You've literally done a complete U-turn.
No, listen, look, I'm all about English clubs, so I'm literally going, go on Arsenal now, take it, try and get the double, mate, because it's over for Chelsea fans. This year's done.
Well, if any
big changes, mate.
If any English club's going to do it, it's going to be Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. Embarrassing night for Chelsea fans, and Jamie, get your revenge on Kundi, mate.
Oh, he's coming, mate. Don't you worry about that. He's coming.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him to just get out of that Stamford Bridge, and he's getting straight on the blower.
I love seeing us. I'm seeing Kundi wind you up every time with Tottenham, but it's your night tonight, mate.
Good team, PSG, mate. Good team.
Yeah, good team.
You're a good team. When they get cooking, they're a good team.
Good team.
Good team.
Dad, listen, mate. Thanks for your call. Get your calls in. You want to have your say on tonight's football? I want to hear from all of you. 03717 223344. Jason Cundy is coming on. He is going to show his ugly face.
Ruben Amorim was a winning manager, but clearly not the right fit for Man United, irrespective of the fact he was a European winning manager because he won the Portuguese league.
Right.
So I'm kind of with Roy, but in the...
You're with Roy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not doing anything to rule himself out of contention.
No, I know, but also what Roy's picture is trying to extrapolate it. And I know there's a lot of cachet around Steve Holland and so on and so forth, but he was part of the England setup that flattered to deceive, that didn't win anything when they could have done. So whilst he might be an excellent coach, we're still looking at a bunch of people, with respect of being Michael Carrick being an elite footballer, that, as from a management point of view, have got what on their resume? So it's part of the conversation, not the only part of it. But if Carrick goes to the end of the season and United finish third, or even, dare I say it, catch City and finish second, then there's going to be a clamour of people suggesting that he's proven himself, that he's had 18, 19 games, and out of that 18, 19 games, or however many he's had, he's done X, Y, Z. I mean, they are far better for him being there, but that's because common sense has prevailed. You haven't got a manager that seems to want to riddle himself into cul-de-sacs and play a group of players that can't play the way he wants them to play. You've got a manager that's ultimately under no real pressure, because everyone thinks that United were... The pressure will come now. Now United are third. Now the pressure's now, because everyone's going to expect... United fans are going to go, you better finish inside the top four now, because you're there now.
But yeah, I take on board what Simon's saying, Martin, but if he secures Champions League football for United, what exactly is going to rule him out?
Yeah,
What's going to rule him
I get it. I do. Roy's a respected voice, and I do take the point that this group, pretty well the same group of players, finished quite low down the table.
Listening to the Sports Bar talkSPORT. Me, Jamie O'Hara Jermaine Pennant. We're going to get the latest on Senegal. They've been stripped of their AFCON title tonight. But first, Arsenal could be England's only hope in the Champions League.
Wow! occasion. Oh, what a hit! And Berigi is the man that's broken the deadlock. Chesting it down, 25 yards out, and rifled one with minimal backlift on the turn. Blasvik's been an inspirational form. He didn't even smell it. Well read by Rice. Rice coming forward. Right-footed effort. Oh, and he's in. And that'll be that. Arsenal are going to be in the Champions League quarterfinals. Declan Rice from the edge of the D. He scored some stunning goals in the Champions League for Arsenal. That is a job really well done. And Arsenal beat Leverkusen by 2-0 to book a quarter-final tie with Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, big night for Arsenal again, flying high in the Champions League. Let's go to Gab. He's an Arsenal fan, right, Gab?
Respect. What has happened to Chelsea or Cundy? They've dropped out the Champions League, doing it on a Tuesday, and O'Hara is up for next Wednesday. Go on, you Arsenal! How you doing, Jambo?
I'm all right. How are we? You happy?
Jamie, I've missed you, mate. I've not called for a few weeks, bruv. But how have you been? You know what?
Been tough,
we
mate.
actually think it was said in our Arsenal group. You grew a bit of respect with some of us, the amount of jip you took.
No, you just got to take it on the chin, haven't you, mate? You got to take it on the chin.
Honestly, I could stop laughing. I thought, this man's falling apart on national team. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not fair.
Fantastic. It was great watch.
Jay, what was harder? The divorce or what's happening at Tottenham, bruv?
Yeah.
What's that? Come on.
I'm definitely Tottenham.
Well, listen, Steve, 64, line bike next to me. How many? First season back since Highbury. Steve, how many games you watched this year, this season?
17, 1, 16 through 1.
There you go.
Why are you interviewing your mate?
Because I'm telling you.
What do you mean? It's like we ain't got to Sam Matterface here in the tunnel. Like, we're talking to... you can't interview your pal. Gabs, look, listen. Look, you boys, again, you win. Great goal from Eze, by the way. And all of a sudden, he looks like a player that is expected to see at Arsenal. But, oh, mate, do you think you can win it? Because I think you got tougher tests. Leverkusen all right, but...
Jay, listen, you can't belittle anything. We've had these conversations since August, mate, me and you. We've had these back and forths. I've said about playing with prey. I genuinely think tonight Arteta said, go off, play football, lads, take them to task. And I generally think a lot of the other games, there's no urgency like there was tonight. And I think as long as we play with that urgency for the big games the rest of the season, I think we'll be fine, mate. Honestly, I've said this to you time and time again. There's too much. There's too much energy and too many good players. But it's as if he said for the last few months, just get the results, grind the results out. It don't matter about pretty football. We can play pretty football when it matters. And I think that's what we've done tonight, mate, to be fair. I didn't even want the third goal that went in via handball, mate. I said, I don't want no ropey goals tonight. I want bangers. I want jammers. Come on.
It was a banger. It was a banger.
So what are you saying for tomorrow anyway?
Don't worry about us, mate. Don't worry about us.
No, come on.
Don't worry about us. Don't worry about us.
I'm always worrying about you, my little pedigree chum. Honestly.
Look, it looks like you're probably going to end up getting Barcelona, I would say, in the semi-finals.
Easy jammers. They've got no defence, bruv. What are you talking about?
I know, but it's at the new camp. I think that's where it's going to be won or lost.
We'll do what we did to Real Madrid last year, mate. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, jammers. It's PSG in the way.
They're full of it right now, aren't they?
I get it. I get it. The Arsenal, you're all on cloud nine, and so you should be. But, you got PSG, Bayern Munich, Barca, Real. They're no mugs in this competition. Yeah, we all talk about group stages and the league phase, and
but really, they've only got to beat. Really, the only elite team in that side of the draw for me
is Barca. Yeah,
Barcelona,
and you'll end up either facing PSG or.
So if they get
Real.
Barcelona, that's where we'll see if Arsenal can do it, and then obviously the final, then it can go either way.
Yeah,
we don't know, but. Do you think like you've won the Premier League, mate? Congratulations, that's over. Yeah. That's over. And I've had to accept that over the last few days. If you win the Champions League, though, that will hurt. That will hurt.
What just do City Sunday, and I'm in the City end, mate. I've got to hide again, bruv. Honestly, it's too much. Got to hide again, mate. In them away, it's 7 away ends I've done this year, Jay. The best one was
Disgrace.
Oh, listen, the best one was sat in your end, though, mate, because I'll tell you what, when we stuffed you 4-1, I could hear the pain, the anguish, and I just sat there and thought, I can't wait to see my mate Jamie O'Hara. You wait.
Listen, Gabs, enjoy yourselves. You're full of it, aren't you? You're full of it. Fair play to you. You're going through. There's nothing really. You can't say anything bad about Arsenal right now, right?
No, you can't, mate. Like I said, top of the league, Premier League. They literally won that now. That's done and dusted for me. Arsenal have got that in the bag. Top of the league phase in the Champions League. Can't grumble on well played. Comfortably, beat Leverkusen. But like you said, there's going to be much, much bigger tests to come.
Yeah.
Even in this side of the draw, and obviously in the final, they will face one of the monsters.
Let's go to Guy. He's a Chelsea fan, all right, Guy?
How you doing, boys?
I'm all right, mate. How are you? How you feeling?
Yeah. Well,
you got slapped.
I left the ground, mate. I left the ground 20 minutes early because it was absolute dross.
20 minutes early from what? Honestly. When you were 5-1 down, or what one?
Well, put it this way: this team to me looked like a bunch of players that want a manager out. That's the way they're playing for me at the minute. And Cole Palmer for me is an absolute shadow of a player that he used to be. I think his body language just looks like he doesn't even want to be on the field.
I don't think he wants to be in London. Never mind the field.
I know. I think I agree. And looking at the relationship that he had with Maresca, obviously he worked under him at Man City. When he went, I genuinely think ever since then he's just not been the player that he was. And people are going to say that's down to the injury that he's had, but he hasn't had anything that major. He's come back, and for me, he's just an absolute shadow of the player he was. And I'm up in the stands there tonight, and everyone's booing. They're chanting for Clear Lake out. They're chanting for Roman Abramovich, and I just think this manager is just well out of his depth.
Do you see yourself getting top 5? Do you see yourself playing Champions League football next season? Because financially, that will hurt Chelsea as well.
I genuinely can't see it happening. I think, to be honest, it's probably the Chelsea fans are kind of 50-50 at the moment on this manager because he has had some reasonable results. But when you look at the fixtures that we've got left now for the rest of the season, we've got some seriously tough games to play, and I just can't see that we're going to come out with enough points to actually challenge Villa and Man United into those last few spots in that top 4. So I think, it's going to be, I think next season we've got to be realistically thinking could be Europa League or even Conference, which, is not going to attract the players that we need to be attracting.
Mate, you're miles off it, though. I mean, 8-2 tonight. I know PSG are a good team. 8-2 over 2 games. Yeah, really and truthfully, it's disgusting. Like, Chelsea are meant to be Champions League royalty. They're like massive football club in the Champions League. You're getting pumped like you're just a bang average side.
Not only that, Jay. There was World Club champions.
Yeah, well,
and there was raving about. And
it's like there's a massive drop off for this football club.
And it's the way we went about it. Genuinely, we looked like a League One side out there tonight. And I think to myself, the way we played against them in the summer last year, I know it was a completely different competition, but we have to genuinely say we've gone backwards since then. And what on earth are we doing, playing Mamadou Sarr and Hato in the defence on a night when we know we've got to go out there and not concede? I mean, I coach bloody grassroots football, and I think I could do a better job.
The first goal is shocking. I mean, it's just one
schoolboy hour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amateur hour, that. I mean,
I saw a little bit of that against Arsenal, and look, he's young and he's got a lot of potential. I think he's been thrown in a bit too quick for my liking.
Oh, it's this whole project that they've got, this Chelsea project. I don't even know what this project is. Do you know, like they've fought.
It's called Project Go Backwards.
It is, yeah. Project not win anything.
Project Back to the Future.
Chelsea fans, get involved in the show. You want to have your say. Man City fans as well. You are out of the Champions League. Your season has unravelled. You got a huge game Carabao Cup final at the weekend. If you lose that one, it could be a trophyless season, that is for sure. Get involved in the show. Cundy's coming up. 03 717 22 33 44. Up the Chels. Is getting it tonight. A shocking week for the Chelsea.
What do you mean?
Pumping. They got slapped by PSG.
What do you mean?
Got slapped by Newcastle. And then got slapped with a transfer ban.
What do you mean?
It's been a slapping week. Slap, 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 slap. Chelsea, slap. Get your calls in, you want to have your say. 03 717 22 33 44.
Do you know what's amazing? Before the game, it wasn't me. We had a meeting with the referee. My assistant goes in. The first thing he talks about is our huddle.
Chelsea 0, Newcastle 1. It's just one straight long pass through the middle. It really is awful defending from Chelsea. And when Murphy lays the ball off, there is Anthony Gordon literally to walk the ball home.
My players made a decision that they wanted to be around the ball, to respect the ball.
What signs have you seen?
I've seen signs.
What signs?
Encouraging signs.
What's happening?
Hello, mate.
How are you?
I'm all right. I've had better weeks.
Yeah? What happened?
Not going to lie.
What happened?
Do you know when you know things are bad? Is where Spurs pick up a point and got beat by 5-2 in the middle.
Don't worry about me, mate.
And you lot have had a better week than Chelsea.
Don't worry about us. What happened at Chelsea,
That's
mate?
when you know things are bad.
What's happened?
You know, it happens, mate. Bad weeks happen.
No.
That's a bad week.
You are listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie O'Hara Jermaine Pennant. We're going to hear from the managers following a big night in the Champions League. Jason Cundy is coming on. He's rearing his ugly head after 11 o'clock. He's going to be live on the show. But first, let's get back to your calls. Tonight's Champions League. 03 717 22 33 44. Let's go to Fabian. He's a Chelsea fan. All right, Fab?
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, matey. What's going on at your club? You fell apart.
What's going on? Well, listen, I'm not sure if you guys remember. Remember in 2020 when Frank Lampard, when Chelsea got battered by Bayern Munich?
Yep.
Yeah, and that was a lesson that we learned very, very clearly, the level that Chelsea should be at. And the following year, we had an amazing owner, Roman Abramovich, spent 250 mil, but buying experienced players, end up winning Champions League the following season. Yep. What we need here is clearly showing you that these owners that we got now, Ekbali and Top Bowley, they care about business only. That's what they care about. Buying young players and probably selling them in the future. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the project's about anymore. I don't understand it. All I'm saying is that they keep buying the most youngest and players in the world. You don't know who they are, how old they are, and you're putting them up against the best team in Europe. You're putting 2 19-year-olds in defence. You're putting Gerald Hatto as a left back, in centre back, and you're putting some youngster on the debut, Mamadou Sarr, who's caused a big mistake there.
Mm.
And then there's no fight at all. After the first goal, I didn't see any fight after it at all.
Yeah,
they conceded the first goal.
Game's over. Game
was over. I really believe that we. Yeah, please go on.
He said tonight on his decision to start Sarr, all right, because obviously it was his fault for the goal. He's all over the gaff. He said he played in that position for me before. He's been magnificent against PSG. I thought his experience against them would help him. Malo Gusto was down to start the game, but he was ill. So, Rosenior, matey, he's turning into a bit of a meme right now. I don't know if you see it. It's all over Twitter, all over. He's giving lads instructions. You're 3-0 down in the 83rd minute. You're 8-2 down in aggregate. He's writing things down on a piece of paper and handing it to his players on the pitch. Like, come on, mate, what are you doing?
Best thing to do there, 83 minutes, is just sit down on the bench and just watch the game as a fan and accept.
As a fan, mate, I was. Listen, I've got. Owners up in the stadium where they sit.
Can't say that. Oh dear.
I understand the frustration. I see where you're coming from.
The owners are having a bit of a nightmare, right?
They're having.
I don't get this project. Like, tell me where this project works.
Look,
I don't know if this project. I've never seen this project work. Everyone goes on about it, like, you know, they bring in these sporting directors and they bring in this project of bringing in young players, and like, come on. Like, the only time it's ever worked was Sir Alex Ferguson when he played that 92 team, right? And was it that 92? Was it? Yeah, like when he brought all the young lads through, right? It was
Beck, Scholesy,
Giggs, and all that, right? And they were all through the academy, so didn't class of 92. Yeah. So, you know, that's the only time when you go, all right, I can say that. You can sit and say, yeah, but they still had experience. They still had great players in the side.
But they have,
you know, this
in all fairness,
project that they keep going on about.
In all fairness, they have got some very good players. I would say Caicedo is probably one of the best at the moment. You know, DMs.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
all right, you could. They've got another midfielder, Enzo Fernandez, who's a World Cup winner with bags of experience. Cole Palmer last season. People were talking about the best number 10 in the league and, you know, Chelsea's player of the year and whatnot. So they have got good players.
They ain't good enough, though. They ain't good enough.
I just think now a lot more rides on just having good players. You need good tactics, good formation, and a good manager. I think that was shown with Liverpool how things can go sideways when you haven't got a good combination of things. Just having good players is not good enough now in this league. You need a good coach, a good manager, and good tactics and a style of play.
Rosenior, not that guy?
Well, I think losing 8-2 to PSG and aggregate kind of says otherwise. Losing to Newcastle at home, the results, again, have been so inconsistent.
Any big game he's played, he's lost.
Yeah.
He lost to Arsenal 3 times. He's lost to Newcastle and he's lost to PSG. The games that that he has won, the games you expect Chelsea to win. You know, so when it comes to the big moments in the season, he's really and truthfully, would Maresca do any? He wouldn't have done any worse than what Rosenior's done.
No,
Maresca was.
I think he had them solid. Chelsea were looking, for me when Maresca was in charge. Chelsea were looking solid. And looking like, you know,
a bit pragmatic, but
yeah,
I haven't seen anything.
At one point, we were saying that, you know, they're challenging. They have the right to say now they're challengers to challenge Arsenal for the league because they were the nearest challenger at the time. And then all of a sudden, kind of wheels have started to fall off slowly.
Let's go to Arjun. He's a Chelsea fan. Arjun.
Hi there. You all right?
Yeah.
Good, mate.
What happened tonight?
Tonight was just a complete realisation of where PSG are right now and where Chelsea are.
we are absolutely miles off it. I think it's all on Rosenior tonight. Line-up wrong, tactics wrong. He absolutely got everything wrong tonight. And it showed. Within 30 seconds, Dembele put a cross into our box and they look like they're going to score. 5 minutes later, Kvaratskhelia has a one-on-one against Mamadou Sarr, pushes him up the ball, puts him in the bottom corner. You don't see Pedro Neto doing that. You know what I mean? The drop-off, and I do understand that Chelsea do have quality players, but Palmer's been a shadow of a player for the last 6 to 8 months.
What has happened to Cole Palmer, by the way? Like, what? Seriously, what has happened to him? Because another fan come on and made a good point. Yeah, he's been injured, but he ain't had like an ACL injury. Do you know, like, he ain't come back from like a year out. He's had, you know, was it his hammy? He's had some problems, but
his groin.
Was it his groin?
His groin.
But you know, like,
yeah,
he is actually a shadow of what I've watched him do and how I've seen him play. He's nowhere near the Cole Palmer from last season.
I completely agree with you. Palmer, it just feels like we're clinging on to this. Oh, he's coming back from injury, but how long do you want to give him? You know what I mean? He's been our best player for the last 2 seasons. He's literally our wild card. It's that when times are tough for the last 2 years for Chelsea, it's give it to Palmer and let's hope he creates something. Look at in the Conference League final, we're 1-0 down. He turns his man, puts across it, and then we equalise. You know what I mean? And this season, it's just not been that. I think Rosenior is just completely out of step, and we've regressed so much since we sacked Maresca.
Do you think Rosenior will be in charge at Chelsea next season?
I hope not.
I think he will. 6-year contract. You're not going to sack him after 6 months.
Well, to be fair, tonight, to be fair, the last week looks awful as a Chelsea fan. We go to PSG, we go to Parc des Princes in Paris, and we did put up a fight, so that's why I think he might get away with it. Because at 2-2, you're thinking after Enzo scored, equalised, we have a chance to even go nick the game. But 2 individual mistakes from the keeper, Rosenior's lineup selection, and we're out the tie.
But that's on the manager. That's on the manager.
Exactly.
You lose that game 5-2.
Yeah,
like, lose it 3-2, fair enough. Lose it 4-2, still game on. But to throw it away and lose 5-2 when it was 2-2 with, 15 minutes to play?
Players have got to take accountability there. If you're making mistakes, you know, that's on you.
And then tonight, I mean, you get beat 3-0 at home.
I think they gave up. They didn't go into that game thinking. They didn't think going in this game. They didn't think, oh, we're gonna get through. We're gonna win this game. They didn't believe that. The way they started, you could just see it. They didn't believe at all that they was going through in this tie.
No, I agree. Chelsea had a real fall from grace, that's for sure, especially this season. Right, get your calls in. You can carry on having your say. Jason Cundy is coming on next. 03 717 22 33 44.
Chelsea handed a suspended transfer ban and fined £10.75 million after secret payments to players and unlicensed agents helped facilitate transfer deals in the Abramovich era. So many people are suggesting here this morning that Chelsea have, in their own eyes, got off with one. Of course, Stefan is with us, and in his words, Stefan, you have said you feel the punishment handed to Chelsea is extremely lenient. But Simon, can I put this to you? How isolated do you think this was? Illicit payments to players and agents to facilitate transfers. Was this just Chelsea?
I would doubt it. My nose tells me that it's not necessarily an industry standard practice, but notwithstanding that, I still think there's lots of people that operate in certain ways within football that I've seen and been privy to and my nose tells me that it wouldn't be just isolated to Chelsea. I mean, the reaction to it, if I was in football now and it was my Crystal Palace had been, I remember getting promoted to the Premier League and being summoned to a meeting by Philip French, the head of comms, and Richard Scudamore to advise me how they expected me to behave in the Premier League, which I told them blow them out of their arse. So I would have probably been full of outrage at the same time as a balanced commercial mind, knowing that the big six are in part the value in the Premier League. So the balance between this outrage about their inappropriate behaviour would also be in the commercial reality of the value that they add to the league. So, I'd have a bit of both in my mind. But listen, inherently, the liabilities to operate in a certain way have to be governed and be enforced by those that are in positions of influence.
To succeed, people often say you need to think outside the box. In sports, every now and then someone does just that and comes up with a crazy idea for an exhibition event that nobody else could have dreamt up. Here are some of the most iconic we've ever seen. I mean, what an image. This was the setting for the Battle of the Surfaces in 2007 between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. The courts in Nadal's home of Mallorca reportedly took 19 days to build and cost £1.2 million. The players had to change their shoes every time they changed ends, and despite some dodgy bits of grass, they slugged out an epic three-setter, won by Nadal. But that's not even the most famous exhibition in tennis, because in 1973, we got the Battle of the Sexes, watched by 50 million people in the US alone. Billie Jean King's victory over Bobby Riggs was not only a landmark event for entertainment value, but also for its impact on the fight for gender equality in sports. I mean, the Battle of the Surfaces never got turned into a movie. Now, imagine a motor race that involved American Indy cars and European F1 cars. Well, that happened twice, back in 1957 and 58. The race of the two worlds took place at Monza and was nicknamed Monzanapolis. Despite legends like Sterling Moss, Phil Hill and Mike Hawthorne racing the F1 cars, the Americans won both years. Fans and the teams loved it, but it didn't make enough money, so got canned. For its cast list alone, though, the greatest exhibition might have to go to the Princess Diana Memorial match at Lord's. Mike Atherton captained a Marylebone Cricket Club side, with Sachin Tendulkar leading a rest of the world 11. Names like Wasim Akram, Sourav Ganguly, Andy Flower, Anil Kumble and Glenn McGrath turned out. The one-dayer, won by the rest of the world by 6 wickets, raised more than £1 million for the Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. Incredible all round.
You are listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Jason Cundy is coming up as well. Still to come, we're going to hear from all of the managers following a big night in the Champions League. But there is a massive story that has broke this evening during the games. Morocco have been awarded a 3-0 win in the AFCON finals. Senegal have been stripped of it. More on this, we're joined by talkSPORT football correspondent Ben Jacobs, who has all the information. Evening, Ben.
Good evening.
Ben, look, this is a huge huge story. Just talk us through the process of how they've come to this decision.
Yeah, an unbelievable decision, and one, by the way, that Senegal may still appeal via the Court of Arbitration for Sport. But essentially what happened is Senegal won the AFCON final 1-0. Before they got their goal in extra time, Morocco were awarded a contentious penalty shortly after Senegal themselves had had a goal disallowed, and there was a walk-off that lasted 10 minutes. Now, under the AFCON and CAF regulations, a walk-off of such nature can result in a disqualification because you've left the field of play. But instead of the officials deliberating and deciding to call the match off at the time, Morocco, after play resumed and Brahim Diaz missed a penalty when it started, went on to lose the game and decided that they were then going to take legal measures to try and get what looks like quite a hollow victory. 2 months on, even though the process started shortly after Senegal's win on the field, we've had a resolution from the CAF disciplinary board, and they have decided that Morocco are right and that Senegal left the field of play and under Article 84 should therefore be eliminated. And as a consequence at the moment, and astonishingly, we've got a new AFCON champion subject potentially, as I say, to another appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport by Senegal.
Would the Moroccan players be notified before this was made public, or would they be finding out the same way all of us guys have been finding out?
Well, to my knowledge, the appeal was made shortly after the final. So, of course, it looks in hindsight like this has been a very convoluted process. And in truth, it has, because we're 2 months on from that final. But the players were made aware by their federation that an appeal was in. But it is notable that Morocco are not celebrating. The players have not made any statements. It's one thing legally winning AFCON, but they know they lost the game 1-0. And you could certainly make an argument if Brahim Diaz had scored the penalty when play resumed, then Morocco would have had no problem with the walk-off. So there's an element of having their cake and eating it, because Morocco didn't point to the walk-off and say this final should be called off. They waited, they resumed play, they took their penalty, they missed it, then they lost the game in extra time, and now it's a case of trying to win back a title that they lost on the field via their lawyers. And that's a bad look, you could argue, for both Morocco and CAF, even if by the letter of the law they may argue, based on the success of their appeal, that they've got a case.
But do you think when Senegal appeal, have they got grounds to appeal, or is this a slam dunk?
Well, the challenge is when you go to CAF, there's a high bar, and also the rules are the rules, and the rules do not state, which is slightly odd, that the officials have to flag a walk-off or have to decide at the time, in real time, on an elimination. They simply say, if there's a prolonged walk-off and 10 minutes counts, then letter of the law, disqualification is the correct approach. And from CAF's point of view, they've been forced to look at their own rules and decide Morocco are right. And as long as those rules are robust enough and there's nothing in the terminology that suggests that that decision can be overturned, then CAS may have no choice. And of course, they will look at the matter dispassionately. To the everyday fan and the football sentimentalist, this looks incredibly harsh on Senegal, but both the CAF disciplinary board and CAS can only look at the regulations, and they are black and white, which is ultimately why Morocco may feel they're going to hang on to this title.
So just confirm it to me then. The rule in place is what, after 10 minutes the game's void. What is the exact rule on this then?
Yeah, there's two rules, Article 82, Article 84, and they're complementary. Article 82 says that a deliberate walk-off, leaving the field of play for longer than a 10-minute period or at that number can constitute a disqualification.
Right.
And then the 82 article is in relation to the game. The other team gets a walkover, 3-0. And then the 84 article goes on to say that you can be kicked out of the tournament altogether.
Right. Okay, so that's the rule. Earlier this month, Morocco, they actually parted ways with a head coach. I think he obviously is left. Do you think they might regret that decision now?
Well, I think winning AFCON legally versus the performance at AFCON and the decision to fire the coach are two completely different things. And you look at Brahim Diaz missing the penalty, being in tears, worst moment of his career. That's not going to be undone. He'll remember that miss. And that final to players, you'll know yourselves, will feel like a loss because you chose to resume the game. You missed the penalty and then you lost in extra time, in the rain, in a major final. And no amount of legal arguments are going to make the players feel particularly happy about this, in my opinion. But the Federation have to defend their players. The walk-off from Senegal was unprecedented. So it's a strange one because I don't think Senegal will be giving back their medals. I don't think the trophy lift and the memories from that will be too soured because Senegal will still claim victory with an asterisk, and so will Morocco. And when you combine all of that, it's just a really bad and messy look for CAS.
Yeah, I mean, this looks so bad.
Yeah, I was just literally about to say to you, look, people have got a very reserved opinion about the AFCON and take it sometimes not serious. Just add to those kind of woes for them as an absolute, because this is a shambles, really.
Yeah, I mean, CAF would argue that if a federation make an appeal, then they have to see out that appeal thoroughly. So this is just letter of the law. But everything about that final was crazy, dramatic, and to some extent exposed the frailties behind the leadership. And CAF, I should say, is a part of that because there shouldn't have been a walk-off. The officials should have had more control over the game. Emotions boiled over. And then when you add this in the aftermath, it all adds up to a very chaotic and messy situation. And there'll be no winner now because if Senegal go to CAS and overturn it, then CAF look ridiculous. If Senegal don't overturn it, then people are going to say Morocco are unjust winners. And there's been no transparency, there's been no clarity. And the fact that a simple rule about a simple walk-off and whether a team should or shouldn't be kicked out has taken 2 months, that's also a bad look on the disciplinary process, which ultimately is led by CAF. And then the fact that neither federation has been forthcoming about speaking, there's been no celebration or reaction as far as the host Morocco are concerned. It shows you, in my opinion, that even if they don't admit it publicly, this will be seen in Morocco, and I would imagine by Morocco fans, as a very hollow victory.
Ben, while I've got you, there's a potential transfer story coming out of Chelsea tonight. Enzo Fernandez spoke to ESPN Argentina about his future. He says, I don't know. There are 8 games left in the FA Cup, then the World Cup, and then we'll see. What does that mean?
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez is open to leaving Chelsea. It's as simple as that. But are Chelsea open to selling Enzo Fernandez? No, at the moment, but there's a long way to go until the summer. The challenge is, regardless of what Enzo Fernandez may or may not want, Chelsea are not going to sell Enzo Fernandez, to my knowledge, speaking to sources, for a book loss, which means there's only a handful of clubs in the world that could afford Enzo Fernandez. Some are in Saudi. He doesn't want to go there. Some say PSG. I'm told that's wide of the mark. And Real Madrid is the other club. And my information, very clearly from sources close to Enzo Fernandez, is that if, and it is still an if because there's been no talks or formal advancement, but should Real Madrid come forwards, that's the club of preference that Enzo Fernandez would like to join rather than going to France or Saudi Arabia. But regardless of what the player may want, or if he's hinting that he would like a move this summer, and from the player's point of view, he may think that's possible. We must remember, Chelsea hold all the cards. He's contracted until 2032, and I'd be very surprised were Chelsea to engage or accept an offer if it was under a British transfer record.
Okay, Ben, you're a star, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Ben.
Cheers, guys.
There's Ben Jacobs there, talkSPORT's reporter. Up next, Jason Cundy is coming on. Chelsea were embarrassed tonight. They got slapped by PSG. You can have your say on it. 03 717 22 3344.
that Max Dowman is. I see him playing. He goes, where was it? Was it Mansfield you played the other day in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He makes a run, right, from about 15, 20 yards outside their box. All right, he just glides edge of the box like a slalom. Yeah. The kid is a major talent. So is Ethan Wanyeri, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
At that point, he bought Wanyeri on something like 91 minutes at 3-1 up, I think, or 3-0 up.
Yeah.
It was just to give him his debut, nothing else. And that was the point I was making.
John Terry said that he was he hasn't seen a player dribble like that since Lionel Messi.
Well, I'd hold back that sort of credit yet. I think, come on, let the boy be the boy. Let the boy just find his way. Totally different build to Messi.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you look at the size of him. He looks like, and he's still growing. He looks like he could be. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like he's going to be 6 foot plus, just by his build, doesn't he? And he's got Messi was. Yeah, I would resist comparing any young player at his age to anyone at the minute. Just let him be Max Dowman.
Yeah,
he'll be Max Dowman.
Yeah,
he's a major talent. He's a major talent.
Fair play to him. They do produce some.
Yeah, they have.
Boys.
And Lewis Skelly coming through. And, I mean, the thing about Lewis Skelly, he might have to leave.
Yeah.
And Capia, if they sign him permanently in Capia, you've got in him, they've got Calafiori. Where's Lewis Skelly going to go? His international career, he could have been going to the World Cup. He ain't going to the World Cup now.
You don't think he's going to get in the squad?
No, I do not.
On talkSPORT, me, Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Still to come, we're going to hear from the managers from the Champions League tonight. But first, Chelsea were shown no respect by PSG tonight, so we thought we'd give Jason Cundy a call. All right, Cundy! Hey, Cundy!
We're done.
What happened?
I'm broken.
8-2.
What happened? Huh?
What's in my mob?
Absolutely broken. I don't know what to say to you. I came here in delusional hope, and football fans, we are. We come here, we go to football matches knowing it's probably irretrievable. But honestly, I've not seen a gap that big, and I've been doing Chelsea TV for over 20 years. That's the biggest gap I've ever seen a Chelsea side play. We were absolutely
not encouraging. No encouraging signs.
Nothing, mate. Nothing.
Cundy, not even a little fight. Was you expecting at least a fight? Make it difficult for them.
Well, for 2.5 minutes, I thought we'd done all right, actually.
Encouraging signs, mate. It was encouraging signs first 2 minutes.
First 2.5 minutes, encouraging signs.
It was encouraging, mate.
Listen. We played 3 at the back. That was a disaster. Absolutely, everything was a disaster. Here's a thing for you, right? So, and 74 minutes in Paris, and then you fast forward in both ties half an hour. So from the last 17, 18 minutes in Paris and the first 15-ish minutes in London, we conceded 5 goals.
No, you got slapped.
Whooping.
Cundy, you got slapped.
Yeah, we did get slapped, mate.
No, you got proper slapped.
Yeah, I can't argue. I've got nowhere to go. I'm a broken man. I've never seen anything like this at Stamford Bridge. I've not seen that drop off in. I don't think. When I said to you the other day, Jay, right? I don't think PSG are good enough to win this. I think they might be now. I think they might be good enough.
They're good enough now. They're good enough.
They were so good, mate. We were terrible.
They've messed up Candy.
I know, mate. I know.
Candy, before obviously we carry on, I want you to hear how it all sounded right here on talkSPORT.
Jesus Christ.
Blue is the colour, football is the game.
Kvaratskhelia trying to get in behind Sarr, and Kvaratskhelia scores! That's probably tie over.
The computer says we're in the top 4 still.
Moving up is Hakimi in space towards the edge of the area. Squares it in field, but Barcola 2-0. Superb counter-attack from Paris Saint-Germain.
Whooping.
I just want to know what the clown's doing.
Vitinha can't get the strike in, but it's fired in quite beautifully by Seni Mayulu. It's 3-0. Cue the mass exodus from Stamford Bridge of Chelsea fans.
Up the Chelsea.
We can take something is that now we can be focused on the conference.
Good team. Good team, Jays. PSG, good team.
Kanda, I've got one quick one for you.
Come on. Can we make this quick?
Yeah.
Can we make this quick? I mean,
I've got a quick one for you. 83 minutes in, Liam Rosina is writing. You're 8-2 down on aggregate, and at 83 minutes is writing things down, trying to give instructions.
Yeah.
Can you share any light on that? On what the
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
He got his multicoloured pen out, Jays. He got his multicoloured pen out.
Yeah.
Listen, we all love a multicoloured pen. Don't knock a multicoloured pen, mate. I don't know where you're going off the pen.
It's a good pen. No, it's a good pen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need it in the 83rd minute when you're losing 8-2. I just don't know if it's needed, Jays.
No pen.
What is he going to write down on that piece of paper?
We're getting slapped. That's what he's writing down. He's got into the dressing room, said, "Here, boys, have this."
Honestly,
we got slapped.
Listen, I've got to take it. It's fine. I'm happy to take it, right? I'm taking slaps. I'm taking slaps.
There was no. Do you think that PSG showed you any respect tonight?
How do you feel, Jamie, wearing your mask? Sunday?
Paris fans coming out. Go on, say that again.
How do you feel that Jamie's wearing your mask? How do you feel about that?
I can't even see him. I can't see him.
I haven't got the mask on. I haven't got the mask on.
Fully got it on.
See it.
Breathing in there, the lot.
Do you know what? All I can say is I wish I had the mask on now.
To be fair, you look like Ange.
It's just who we are, mate.
Your team play like
Seriously, though, mate. Rosina,
can we end it now?
mate. You've turned into a meme club. You are.
Can we end this interview now?
No.
Hold on. Say that again.
You've turned into a meme football club.
I remember. I mean, the last week, I don't think I've ever known a week like it, right? So you go back to Wednesday of last week and 74 minutes on the clock, and you think about what's happened. Conceded 5 goals in 30 minutes.
Slap.
Jesus Christ. Listen,
has anyone seen Candy? Dennis Wise?
Right, okay, hold on.
Solar.
Yeah, hold on.
Listen, who's that?
No. No, leave it, man. Leave it. No, leave it. No, I'm doing it. No.
Did you think you would come from 3-0 down? Did he think he'd come from 3-0 down?
He was confident. It was encouraging signs, he said.
Encouraging signs.
I'm a United fan.
He's a bloody United fan.
Hey!
Don't swear.
Come on, boys. Listen, at the end of the day.
Hold on, who are you playing in the Champions League?
No, who's going to play next year?
Champions League. I'm getting sick of United fans.
Yes, I'm getting
sick of United fans. Honestly.
Do you know why?
Wait, no. Do me a favour. Leave me alone.
Run away, Gundy. Run away. Run, Jace. Run. Cundy's running. Cundy's running away from Stamford Bridge.
That's our Frankie's.
That's how bad he is. He's getting slapped. He's getting chased.
No, run.
Run again, Jace. Run away. Run away. He's running away.
His knee's going to buckle. His knee's going to give way.
I meant to hobble away from Man United fans.
Wait till he comes in the morning tomorrow.
United fans. Honestly, they're going to play 40 games this season.
Mate,
anyway, is that it? Can I go?
No, Cundy. What happened? What happened?
We got slapped, mate.
Seriously, though, what's going on with his team, mate? Cole Palmer, what's happened to him?
He's just vanished. He's gone hot.
Right, listen, I'm going. I've had enough. I'm not getting paid for
What do
this.
you mean? No, you don't need to get. It's not about money, mate. It's not about money. You got front up. What happened?
I'm not front up enough. I've been chased by a Man United fan. He's coming back. He's coming back. No, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Run,
no,
run,
no, go
Cundy.
away.
Run.
No, you can't. No. Bro, what do you want? He's not leaving me alone. No, I've got to run again.
Run, mate. Run with that knee.
Cundy, you can't run. Stop trying to run away from Man United fans. Cundy.
Roman Abramovich.
Okay, no, it's not right. I've got to go.
Cundy, just lastly, encouraging signs?
What?
Any encouraging signs?
Nothing. There was nothing encouraging at all. I can't. Nothing at all. Zero encouragement.
No?
First leg, 75 minutes. No.
Hey?
First leg, 75 minutes, encouraging.
I'm going to swear now. But listen, boys, I love you both. Up the Chelsea. Come on, champions.
No, mate.
Leave me alone.
No.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
You got slapped.
No, you got to leave me alone. No.
Whooping. Got slapped.
We've had to let Cundy go. He's getting chased out of Stamford Bridge by Man United fans. That's unbelievable stuff. Oh, dearie me. Well, he did front up. He did come on. And we're going to continue taking calls after the break. We're going to hear from Mikel Arteta as well. 03 717 22 33 44.
Few years back, when Jurgen Klopp was in charge, we tried signing Moises Caicedo, a defensive midfielder, because since Fabinho and Henderson have left, we've not signed one.
Yeah.
He turned us down. We tried signing that Southampton young
Lavia as well.
Lavia, yeah.
Same window.
He turned us down.
Yeah.
A year later, we went for Zubamendi. He turned us down. We've not replaced that kind of player. Slot came in and played Gravenberch in that position. He did well. We won the league because of the other teams falling off as well. But we've not signed that player yet. We've let go of centre-halves, Matip and company, and we've got only two...
Company?
Choice. No, Matip and company, you know...
Oh, Matip and co, other players.
Yeah,
Right.
Matip and co, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, let go of players like that, and then we've not signed any centre-halves. We're probably the only Premier League club who's got two senior centre-halves on their books.
Do you know what, Sam, as well? Another one, Mark Gahey. I don't know why you didn't get him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For £5 million, we spent outrageous money on attacking players, but we've not signed a defensive player just for £5 million. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
But that doesn't explain why you're not scoring goals.
Exactly. Yeah, but there comes Salot's position. Honest lot.
Hold on.
Let's get a cash point.
Hold on. Sorry, are you working behind the tills at like Tesco's or something?
Yes, I am.
What? While you're talking to us?
Because I'm listening to you as well.
That's unbelievable.
You are listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT with Jamie O'Hara Jermaine Pennant. We're going to hear from the managers. Big night in the Champions League. But first, let's look ahead to tomorrow's games in association with talkSPORT Bet.
Bring it on with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com to see all our latest sign-up offers. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Yeah, Rhino joins us. Right, Rhino?
Hey, evening, lads. How are you? You good?
Yeah, we're all
Good,
right,
Rhino.
Good.
Right.
Just when you think the sports bar's peak, Jammer's got a lovely little tan on. You've got Jane at Ange mask, and you've got Cundy running away from a United fan outside Frankie's. It's just
Unbelievable.
It's peaking. This is unbelievable, lads.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Look, obviously big night tonight, but huge game. Some tomorrow ones as well. Barcelona, Newcastle, live on talkSPORT. Newcastle were brilliant in the first game, but it's a tough one to go to Barcelona and get something.
Yeah, that's why that kind of last-minute equaliser, 10 minutes after they score in the 86th minute, it's just agonising for them, isn't it, for Newcastle? Because, in isolation, that is a really good result. And for those Newcastle fans who haven't been keeping an eye on Barcelona, they absolutely gave Seville a whooping on the weekend, 5-2. There's been a few 5-2s over the last week. I won't remind you, Jay. But Barca are doing really, really well. And they're odds-on favourites, odds-on favourites they are for this one. It will be a tall order, we know that. But Newcastle, look, they've got a bit of fight in them themselves. Good result on the weekend against Chelsea. 4-1 Newcastle at the moment. The draw is 11-20 as well. What can we look at here? I mean, a Rafinha hat-trick on the weekend. They've got firepower everywhere, really. But he's 11-8 anytime or 33-4 to score 2 or more. Yamal is just over evens right now to score anytime like he did last week. You can, if you want the Newcastle bias, boys, go for 1-up early payout. If Newcastle go 1-up at any point, talkSPORT Bet will pay out just over evens. But I'm not going to look at that. I will look, unfortunately, for Newcastle. I'll look at Barca and both teams to score. Barca to win 31-20. It's going to be a tough ask, but there's still jeopardy in this game, so it should be a good watch. Well, we're hoping so anyway.
Right now, over to my mob, Liverpool, Galatasaray. I don't know about this game. I don't think Liverpool are going to lose, but they can easily draw this game, which is no good.
I know. Are you saying that, Jammer, because of the result on the weekend? Is that what's made you is that tilt your mind a little bit?
I think the whole season really is giving me that opinion. I'm not seeing anything that can say otherwise. They're just so inconsistent.
No, I know. They've got a job to do for sure. They have to score. We know that much, and not conceding for good measure would be all right as well. Galatasaray did win on the weekend, but you're steeped in European law. I mean, you've won 15 out of your last 19 European games at home, and Galatasaray are not good on the road, Jammer. If you want me to just ease your nerves a bit, 19 losses in 23 in UEFA comps away from home. So again, it's set up for Liverpool to perform at home, and they're 1-4 favourites, odds on to win tomorrow. Big favourites. You compare that to Galatasaray, they're 9-1. That's a big old price, that is, for a big old task, let's be honest, because they still have a job to do as well. The draw's on at 11-2. What can you look at, really? Szoboszlai's been your main man at the moment, hasn't he? He's been a fantastic player. He's back now, of course, we know that. 39-20 to score any time, but you can also, he's a set-piece specialist, 5-1 to score from outside the penalty area. That's my outside choice for this game, I have to say. From a Galatasaray point of view, Osimhen, he's been amongst the goals. He scored again on the weekend. He didn't score last week, but on the weekend he did again. 8-5 anytime. But like you, I'm looking at maybe you can go to extra time, potentially, or penalties. Penalties is 19-1 for either side to win on penalties. Liverpool in extra time is 5-1. Compare that to Galatasaray, 45-1 to win the game in extra time, Galatasaray. That might be your outside shout as well. That's a hell of a price, that. So it could go all the way. It's one of the few games tomorrow, like the Newcastle one, for example, that could go all the way. So an interesting one.
All right, finally, my mob. Spurs, can they get anything out of this game? Let's go Madrid. What's the odds then?
I know. Oh, Jay, I'm not going to take the mick. Because, Kundi's already done that, to be honest. I'll be on tomorrow and be reflecting the game. I'll be on at about 5-2. So you just look out for that one. What I will tell you is Spurs are favourites. They're favourites, Jay, but they're joint favourites. They're both at 31-20. The odds can't divide them right now, which is really, really interesting. That's to win the game, of course. The draw's at 27-10. To qualify, though, it looks a little bit different. 9-1 Spurs to qualify. We know what a task that's going to be. 1-50 Atletico. I'll rip the Band-Aid off right now. 3-0 gets you to extra time. That's 25-1. 4-0 gets you through. That's 66-1. So I'll ask you, are you gonna give yourself any chance tomorrow, Jay?
No.
I mean, we saw what Chelsea did. No, straight up, no. You don't see any hope.
I just want to see a decent performance. Like maybe we win on the night, Maybe we win 2-1 or something. Atletico are not great away from home.
Yeah.
Do I think we're going to go through? Absolutely not. I can't see us winning 3. I can't see us winning 3-0. Can't see us winning 4-1.
There's positive signs second half though.
Well,
they drew the second half.
Drew the second half, mate. We drew the second half.
Look, there were encouraging signs. So look, let's be real. But at least, as long as you see something from the boys tomorrow, result or
we've
not,
got some injuries
that's what
back
you need
as well, which is looking like I
Bergval's
think the
back.
Doggy's back. Bergval looks like he's back.
Yeah.
And so if we can just start seeing some, a stronger 11.
Encouraging signs.
Well, it's some encouraging signs from the bench as well, because the bench has just been ridiculous. So
knackered.
Look, we'll see. I don't think we'll get anything from the game. I just want to hopefully get a decent performance, because we did actually do all right against Liverpool.
Yeah, no, fair. Before you let me go, I'm just going to circle back. Barcelona-Newcastle draw is 15-4. I think I got that slightly wrong. So 15-4 for the Barcelona-Newcastle, and Barcelona are odds on at 11-20. But yeah, good luck tomorrow, Jay.
Yeah.
Just as long as you see something, see some signs, encouraging signs, you'll be absolutely fine. No problem.
Rhino, you're a star, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, lad.
Cheers, boys.
Right, that was a look at the latest odds. Thanks to talkSPORT Bet. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. GambleAware.org.
Bring it on with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com to see all our latest sign-up offers. 18+, GambleAware.org.
Right, before we go back to some calls, let's hear from Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta. Has been speaking about the result. They progressed through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
I think we started the game so well. I think we were a threat from every angle. They keep it, as you said, maintain them in the game, I think. And we needed a magical moment from Eps to score a wonderful goal, a wonderful strike to give us the lead. And in the second half, we have periods of domination, periods where they dominate us all because they are a really good side and they are really good in what they do. And again, Declan's actions opened the opportunity to go and win the game and the tie. And unfortunately as well, we had 4 or 5 situations where we should have probably scored the third one and put the game to bed. But overall, I think we fully deserve to be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, big result for Arsenal. Let's go to Cody. He's Arsenal fan, right, Code?
Yes, Jamo, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Are you reveling in your previous choices?
Well, at the end of the day, you can't get away from the fact that Arsenal are just flying high at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, boring Arsenal had to excite everyone today in the media, didn't they? So they decided to score the best goal that you'll see in the tournament so far. Absolutely. I was sitting right behind it, honestly, man. I thought it looked good in the stadium, but...
It's a great goal.
Back,
It's a great goal.
It's absolutely. He's not even looking at the goal. He knows exactly where he is, don't he? And he just turns and, man, it's unreal. One thing I was going to say, though, you're talking about a fall from grace, though, to Cundy on the phone. I remember you wearing a City shirt celebrating City scoring against Spurs.
Yeah, good team, mate. It was a good season, that was. Great season.
No.
It's a great season, mate. It's a great season.
Spurs are back.
Arsenal bottled it. Spurs won the Europa League. It's a good season, mate. But listen, it's your time. It's your time.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, that was my 20th game this season, the home and away. And that, I'm literally, it's getting to the point now where the players are really, really stepping up.
Yeah.
You know, you can see Rice taking that. That's so hard to do as that's bouncing down. He controls it and then
Great goal.
Two really, really good, weren't they?
Two good goals, great, solid performance. But like I said, the show you're going to come up against stiffer a test than Leverkusen. You've won the Premier League is done and dusted now. You can start to relax and celebrate the games now.
Yeah, I mean they've got City, you've got Palace, haven't they? That was their moved game, and then obviously we go to theirs. But honestly, man, I think City fans should be worried about Sunday. They're going out today. I don't know what your thoughts on this. I was having a conversation with people today. So there's guys I go to games with, Lee and Jack. Shout out to them about whether or not City should fight. Like, you want City to really score 3 goals to try and tire themselves out. But honestly, them going out tonight, I think just kills the mentality.
Premier League's over, mate. I mean, obviously the Carabao Cup game at the weekend is a huge one. Look, it's a final. We have to see. It's a massive game. I think they have to take something away from Arsenal this season, because at the moment it is looking like potentially you can win the Champions League and the Premier League, and if you win on Sunday as well, I mean, wow. It's going to turn into an absolute unbelievable season for Arsenal. Man City have to win this game at the weekend. It isn't going to change the Premier League. I don't think it's going to dent Arsenal in terms of their mentality. I thought if the Premier League was a bit tighter, and it was maybe 4 points or something like that, then I would say that game on Sunday is, a game which can completely unravel the rest of the season. But if you lose the game on Sunday, I don't think it affects Arsenal in terms of Champions League success or Premier League success.
Too big of a points difference with two little games to go.
All this is on Sunday now is for Man City to just take something away from you.
Yeah.
I was at Wolves away. Listen, 2-0 up, cruising, and that was one of the worst experiences. Having them Wolves fans on the left side of the away end. Oh my God! Standing on the seat, singing "Second Again, Ole Ole." We literally were cruising in that game, and I come out of there, it was pouring with rain.
But Man City have not been good enough, though. Man City have not been good enough. You've been Forest. You haven't been great. You've won the games you've needed to win. You've been solid. You deserve to win the Premier League. But Man City, when you look like you could potentially throw it away, they didn't pounce.
They do you a favour. They drew to Forest, then they go and draw at West Ham.
Drew with Tottenham, they just haven't. They're just not good enough.
I haven't been consistent.
This is your season. This is your time. Everyone's as bad as it feels. You have to accept it. Arsenal are going to do it.
I don't want to bring Liverpool into this as well, but when they signed Isaac, I remember we just lost at Anfield 1-0, Szoboszlai free kick, worldie, and then they signed him. If you remember, Fabrizio posted in the morning, or was it late Sunday night, that they'd done the deal for Isaac. It was over the line. And I remember waking up Monday after that loss, thinking, "That's it. We're nowhere near going to win this Premier League this year."
Yeah.
And they've
they've been terrible. They've been terrible.
Scoring against them as well. They did not need that.
Well, look. Fair play to you, Cody. You've got it done. Simple as that. And tonight, finally go through. I think Barcelona is the one semi-final. I think that's the big one for Arsenal. If you get through that and being a Champions League final, then it's 50-50. But
I've got Sporting. So I'll go Sporting, and then obviously if we go through, I'll get Barca as well.
Sporting done unbelievable tonight. I mean, they won 5.
Yeah, man.
It's an incredible performance from them. But I think you're too strong for them. I just think you're too good. Code, listen, mate, thanks for your call.
Oh, sorry, thanks.
All right, top man, mate, thanks for coming on. Right, we're going to speak to Kevin Hatchard next. He's going to come through and have a chat about all of
When do we hear about City and 115? Is there any correlation here?
Well, the overlap, I think, is only to the extent as to the treatment of this sort of conduct has not been treated as severely as PSR. So in a theoretical scenario where City are found to have breached some of the rules, but ultimately, like Chelsea, that wouldn't have impacted on its PSR position.
Yeah.
This agreement suggests that, save for the fact that there was cooperation here and early admission, save for that fact, that maybe it's not even a points deduction for something as extreme as that. Maybe. So I think this is generally positive for City in terms of its leniency, but I wouldn't read too much into it because, of course, this is a sanction agreement. As to when it's coming, I mean, clearly we are now way over the expectations of all the parties. The last information I had is they have no idea when it's coming. I think we are back in the realms when international breaks are more likely than other times, but who knows?
And one international break's about to come up.
But for City, you must be in the same space.
Yeah.
If you are, because part of the allegation against City is fraud. So if indeed you are found to be guilty, because at this moment in time City aren't found guilty of anything, if you're found to be guilty, how do you then take up the table of sanctions and say, well, actually, it's a points or removal of credit and whatever else you had in the past because you've just allowed Chelsea to admit.
I think what they would say is, in the City case, you will struggle to get any of those lines of mitigation.
No, fine.
That are there in the Chelsea
but
case.
does mitigation
So it'll
remove,
all be aggravation.
But does mitigation remove points then?
and Jermaine Pennant. We're going to hear from Chelsea boss Liam Ross Sr. They got spanked tonight. But first, Pep Guardiola has been speaking about Manchester City's exit from the Champions League. He assured the club will come back stronger next season.
The future will be bright. Next season we'll be back. So next year we'll be champions. We will learn. Many players knew the result in the first game, but always sport is challenge, right? It's you against me and you win, congratulate, you lose. So go home. That had to be. And always the feeling that we could not play a proper game here at 11 to see what happened, you know? And the feeling was quite similar, like the 4-3. That should be much more, the 4-0, the 1-1, even last 2 seasons ago. The last season, no, they were better. And today, of course, with 5-1, is congratulate Madrid, all the best. But just that game, you analyze that game, right? That game, because the other one was analyzed properly. That game is the feeling that I would have loved for the way we start and the way we played. I would love to play against 11, but football, these circumstances happen, like the first goal in Madrid, for example. So Madrid is an extraordinary team that they punish you when you make a mistake.
Yeah, look, he wasn't obviously too upbeat about the result and the performance. The problem they had, Jammer, obviously they're playing Real Madrid and they've got to finish in the top 8. You know, you've got to get yourselves in that higher up, be like Arsenal did, like Barcelona have. You know, you got to finish high up in it to give yourself that draw, because you get Real Madrid, you know, like in the knockout stages, it's always going to be really difficult for you. You know, like you're coming up against a top side Real Madrid, and it's unlucky that you get them really and truthfully when you really want to be playing them in a semi-final. Look,
You want to finish as high as possible, but I think the way this format's been done this season, the only benefit I saw was if you finish first. Everyone else is on the tough side. Everyone else could either face your Bayern Munich, your Real Madrid, your PSGs.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich finished second, and they're on a tough side of the draw.
Yeah.
They could even face, you know, they're going to face one of the top nations. So if you want to the easy side, you have to finish first.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Arsenal obviously had the best draw.
So I don't think. Look, you maybe get an eye that probably would have avoided Real Madrid, maybe. But ultimately, they're just not being good enough.
No, they haven't.
The Champions League, you know, losing to Bodo Glimt 3-1 was a massive shock. And they're just even in the league, football, the Premier League, they've just been miles off it. And that's like a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's been weird because last season when Liverpool won the Premier League, people were saying, yeah, but the standard's gone, you know, Arsenal are there, or Man City or Chelsea. And now this season, Arsenal there, everyone's saying about, it's just we're not seeing teams fighting anymore. We're not seeing a load of teams. It's either just one team in it and the other teams are scraping it out for their positions. The days where you got 3 or 4 teams fighting for it's just not happening anymore.
Well, let's speak to European football expert Kevin Hatchard now. Right, Kev?
Oh, chaps, well?
Yeah, Kev, look, obviously, disappointing night for the English clubs, really. Chelsea go out against PSG. 8-2, Kev. I mean, you know, I've spoke to you loads this season and you've said PSG are not really been firing, but, I mean, they dismantled Chelsea.
Yeah, they did. And what was different, I think, about this tie from ones we've seen previously with PSG is that they were clinical in front of goal. And that was the difference, ultimately. At 2-2 in that first leg in Paris, I thought Chelsea were in it. And then PSG walked away with it in the closing stages and were ruthless in front of goal. And you look at that chance that Kvaratskhelia gets early on tonight, and he gets in behind Sarr, finishes it well. The Barcola finish is outrageous for the second goal. And that's the kind of finish they were producing. I mean, the one thing you'd say, and I do think that was a lot closer to what PSG are capable of, but they also gave up a lot of chances. Now, that might be because they felt they'd won the tie with getting those 2 early goals, but Safanov had to make, 3, 4, 5 decent saves, and you won't get away with that against a better team. I thought Chelsea looked quite a way off it. I think they've got deep structural problems. I know they feel that it's the right transfer policy. I'm not entirely sure that's the case. And the results in the Premier League and the Champions League will tell you that. Yes, they won the Conference League, but they were massive favourites to do that. Yes, they won the Club World Cup, but how valuable is that really? And the two they really want to win, the Premier League and the Champions League, at the moment, you'd have to say they're miles off.
Kev, we saw PSG in the last season in the Champions League lose to Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates. They finished outside the automatic places, top 8. They finished around 22nd, but ultimately went on to win the competition. Are we seeing signs of that again?
Yeah, I think it's about momentum. They've still got a title race in France. They're not clear of Lens by any stretch of the imagination, even though Lens lost at the weekend away at Lorient. You'd expect PSG to win that league title, but they've not found it easy this season. They've looked tired to me, which is understandable. because they played so many games last season, so many games in the summer, and they've just carried on going. And some of those guys have been playing really important international matches, like the Portuguese guys who won the Nations League. So it was always going to catch up with them to some extent, but I think they're starting to look sharp. So I think there are still flaws there, but that was a much, much better performance. And when they catch fire, they're really difficult to stop. They went to Barcelona and they won in the league phase. They won 7-2 at Bayer Leverkusen in the league phase, but they also had some poor results as well.
Look, Real Madrid, they went past Man City tonight. Obviously, they had a man sent off Man City, which kind of killed the game. But the first leg, obviously, was the one which was the performance that gets them through. They've been poor, Kev, in La Liga. They've been a bit off it. The manager got sacked, but they are still a dangerous outfit when you've got players like Vinicius Jr. in this team.
Yeah, they are, and they've got a bit of momentum now. And Alvaro Arbeloa, I think, with that first leg performance, has probably got a bit more solidity in terms of his position because he stepped up from Castilla. I think he's doing the right things in the sense that he's starting to bring some of those kids that he's worked with in their second team with Castilla. He's bringing those guys through. And Thiago Pitarch looks really, really good, I think, in midfield. Just a teenager, but looks really, really sharp. So they're bringing those guys through. Mbappe's had this knee injury. I know he, played in this game, but they had to show that they could cope without him, and they were able to do that. I think Vinicius Jr. is having his best spell of the season by a long, long way.
Yeah.
I still think, again, this is what's fascinating about this tournament and why Arsenal, I think, are the favourites at the moment, because you look at almost every team who can win it. I think there are defensive flaws there. I think you can get at them, and I think Arsenal are the best defensive team in the tournament. It's not a massive margin. They're not overwhelming favourites, but that gives them a real opportunity.
We know how good Thibaut Courtois is for Real Madrid. We've seen him in this competition, be man of the match and literally win the games for Real Madrid. He came off injured at half time. If he is injured and he's out for a long period, can Real Madrid win this competition without him? Because when they do, we've seen how important he is in them, getting over the line.
Yeah, I think what they've shown is that they've got a lot of players out at the moment, just in general, actually. I think it's defensive is the problem. I think it's going to be, yes, in that first leg against Manchester City, they were great and they were really cohesive. I thought they worked really well, backed each other up. Are they going to be able to produce that kind of performance again and again and again? I think they can miss a star now and again, but I think overall what's going to determine it for them is whether they can be cohesive enough without the ball. Because if you come up against a PSG or a Bayern, who they're pretty much going to face in the quarters, if you're not at it without the ball, you'll get taken apart. You can have Mbappe, you can have Vinicius, you're just going to get shredded. So that is the issue, whether they can produce that kind of performance on a consistent basis.
Kev, just on the games tomorrow, obviously Barcelona playing Newcastle. That's the one that you look at and say, can they cause an upset, Newcastle? Do